we need Kong. The world needs him.
What's up, everybody? Today we are back and we will be breaking down the new Godzilla vs Kong teaser trailer as well as the Japanese trailer where we see
the swap.
So far the battle is looking to be very evenly matched. It doesn't look one-sided in Godzilla's favor or in Kong's favor, which is honestly all I can ask for. I also really love the music in the second teaser, so if anybody possibly has it, just hit me up in the comments. This is going to be a much quicker video, of course, since all the footage from the new teaser trailer just came out a couple days ago, depending on when I record this. And I haven't covered the slap yet because I'm just lazy, but let's hop right into it. We're going to start things off with the Japanese trailer. From the beginning, we can see that we get a bit more footage of Kong walking through Skull Island, and he is definitely carrying something here. I think it's most likely just a tree at this point, and it's possible the reason Kong is carrying this tree is because Kong is helping the Iwi rebuild their wall. For those who may not have read the comics, specifically Skull Island: The Birth of Kong, the Iwi get their wall destroyed by one of the human characters who ventures onto the island. Now, the only issue with that theory is that the wall being destroyed happened in 1995 during the comics, and it's been like, what, 25 years since? I feel like it would have been built at this point, but hey, you never know. It could also be the handle of the axe, but that is unlikely considering the handle is bone and Kong finds the axe in the hollow earth. So I'm gonna stick with a tree for now since that's what it looks like. So we get a slight bit more footage of Kong carrying the tree. The next piece of footage that's new is during the ocean battle. Godzilla approaches the aircraft carriers and they seem to fire their missiles at Godzilla, and as a sign of his intelligence, we see Godzilla dive underwater. The military is actually firing ahead of Godzilla since Godzilla is swimming towards them so fast. So they're trying to predict where Godzilla is going to be and they fire up ahead. It's really cool. I honestly really love the shots that they're creating, and this film already looks like it's going to have the most beautiful shots in the Monsterverse. We get another new shot of Ren Serizawa as he looks up to this random dude, and the dude confirms that's Ren Serizawa by saying his name.
Mr. Ren Serizawa, these are dangerous times.
Ren is most likely going to create Mechagodzilla in spite of Godzilla. Maybe blaming him for his father's death, or blaming him for taking Serizawa's attention from his son to Godzilla. That would be a bit more on the dot and kinda cliche. I'd much rather Ren just build Mechagodzilla for good, but Apex takes it over, or just something like that. But hey, it depends on the execution, so I'm reserving my judgment until I see the film. As long as the character is interesting, I'm good. Now we arrive at
the swap.
Now this one made the rounds on Instagram. It seems like right after the punch, Godzilla fires back with a slap. Now I could kind of tell Godzilla was going to fire back with an attack because we saw Godzilla open his hand out right after getting socked. So Kong punches Godzilla and Godzilla slaps Kong, knocking him down. Now there's a couple things we should talk about. For starters, this slap is actually much more of a full-on bear-like claw swipe. This claw swipe sends Kong falling backwards, knocking him down. Now I want to thank a fella named UJ, a close friend of mine, for pointing this out, but if we were to look closely, this claw swipe doesn't leave any marks, there aren't any traces of blood, Kong doesn't even lose any fur, he just gets knocked down. Now in 2014, during the events of Godzilla Aftershock, the much lighter and weaker Godzilla performs the same attack on Jinshin Mushi, aka Muto Prime, and this attack leaves the Muto Prime with much more scarring and even blood spewing. So Kong has demonstrated better durability than the Muto Prime in this regard. I know that sounds crazy, but he did it. Godzilla then charges his atomic breath, so I would assume Kong gets back up pretty quickly and then shoves Godzilla off the aircraft carrier, and then Godzilla fires his atomic breath into the aircraft carrier. Final new shot we get is a glimpse of Godzilla destroying what I believe to be the nuclear power plant. Now I love how Godzilla clenches his claws here, they just look super cool, and I cannot wait to see this nuclear power plant attack scene. So to quickly touch on the slap and the punch, I want to bring up a theory that I have. So during the ocean battle, it's most likely true that Kong is sedated. His collar has green vials, which could probably be the liquidized oxygen destroyer chemical, meaning Kong's stamina and oxygen levels are low, or it could just be some kind of sedative. Either way, we have a Kong who's basically under sedation and is most likely fatigued, and then we have a Godzilla who at this point throughout the plot is juiced up on attacking multiple nuclear power plants. That could be why his beam is much more powerful, as well as why the military even attacks Godzilla before he enters the battle. So the sedated Kong manages to punch Godzilla, kind of pushing him back, and then Godzilla ends up swiping Kong hard enough to knock him down. Before Godzilla can fire his atomic breath, Kong shoves Godzilla off the aircraft carrier. Now this is the same Godzilla who stopped the 141,000 ton Ghidorah dead in his tracks when he was 90,000 tons and 99,000 tons. and Kong is tossing him off the aircraft carrier with relative ease here. Now I've heard people say Kong used all his body weight and just moved Godzilla while Godzilla knocked Kong down with just a slap. What we need to remember is Kong is most likely under sedation here while Godzilla is juiced up on multiple nuclear power plant attacks. Kong did use his whole body weight, but it's not like Godzilla didn't use his body weight either. Godzilla is the one who ends up having to regain his footing after the claw swipe, showing he used his body weight as well. The fact that Kong is most likely going to get up right after this and impressively throw Godzilla off the carrier is kind of a sentiment to his quick recovery and body shape, as I would point out before, saying he can get up way quicker due to his smaller mass. Another thing to point out here is that Kong isn't even standing at full height here, and my god does he look way taller than Godzilla. I know he won't be, but it just looks like that in this scene. In terms of the slap in that scene we got bits and pieces of revealed to us, it seems that the fight choreography really consists of one hit, a harder hit, and an even harder hit. It seems like two powerhouses going at it rather than one having an extreme advantage over the other, even despite Kong likely being under sedation. And here Kong has shown better durability than the Muto Prime, so that is also saying something about how Kong will stack up against Godzilla. That's all we really got in the Japanese trailer, a couple new bits of footage here and there, and now we finally get to see that Kong isn't going to be owning Godzilla throughout the film, or vice versa. Rather, it'll be very evenly matched and a battle between two equals. There was also a new TV spot or trailer that came out during Valentine's Day, and that gives us even more confirmation that the two monsters will be equals. Let's break down that footage. Here we go, rapid fire. We start off with Gia walking towards Kong, and this is during Kong's freakout when he most likely wakes up on the ship after passing out on Skull Island. Most likely. Kong's roars here sound oddly like a mix of a human and the sounds of The Thing from 1982. I actually do kind of like it. It isn't his roar of fury or anything, but a roar of frustration and just confusion all around. Kong raises his arms up, looking at the chains. I think he can definitely break out of it, even under sedation. They're just chains after all. The only reason he'll keep them is most likely because Gia calms him down and he doesn't want to endanger her life in any way, shape, or form. One thing I like is that Kong is very much a lone wolf. He's surrounded by all these humans, but he will not communicate with them. Rather, most likely ignore their existence unless he gets provoked into attacking them or even protecting them. He only acknowledges Gia and communicates with Gia, but I think his character development by the end of the film is that he'll eventually acknowledge Skarsgård's character by the end of it. And because we do know Skarsgård is a scientist on Kong's side. We cut to the aircraft carrier where Kong roars at Godzilla in a way of saying, "Show yourself." And Godzilla responds by flipping the aircraft carrier over. We get new footage of the aircraft carrier flipping over while Kong is chained to it. Kong tries to stay aboard, but he gets flipped over and roars underwater. Now people have cut this footage with the CCXP footage of Godzilla underwater roaring as he charges towards an opponent underwater, which is again most likely Kong, and I think that's what Kong is gonna see. He'll either have to break his hand chains and leg chains underwater, or he'll do his best to just dodge the oncoming Godzilla, allowing Godzilla to flip the carrier back up. Or even he could just block with his arms, you know, some kind of like X motion covering his face, allowing Godzilla to break the chains for him. Something like that would be pretty cool. We get new footage in Hong Kong, and here we see Godzilla firing his atomic breath in a swaying motion. Now I feel like what's happening here is that Kong is outmaneuvering Godzilla's atomic breath by running behind buildings, so Godzilla decides enough is enough and he fires the atomic breath at all of these buildings, stopping Kong from being able to evade and outmaneuver the atomic breath. We then cut to Kong getting tail whipped by Godzilla. Kong lands on his back and we see all the dust rise up. At this point, I feel like they don't really care about weight and impact anymore. The monsters aren't really moving as if they were 400 feet tall. I just don't really get that sense of weight and scale. And when you have these monsters performing blows and attacks that are supposed to hold this kind of like tremendous impact, then that impact becomes dampened because the monsters don't seem to have that much weight behind their blows. With the unrealistic camera angles, you know, while awesome and fun, of course, they don't really give us that sense of scale since it's so CGI floaty camera-esque, like when we follow Kong charging Godzilla in Hong Kong. It looks like miniatures rather than an actual city, and that can take away from the story or the impact or even the atmosphere of the scene. And that's just something I wanted to point out. Kong gets tail whipped, of course not falling apart on impact, and he gets sent reeling a bit, landing on his back. It looks like a cool moment where Godzilla actually catches Kong, who was going to attack Godzilla from behind. Both feats of intelligence right there. Kong lands, and then we cut to the most talking point shot of the trailer. That is where we see Kong lying on the ground. So we see Kong lying on the ground as Gia, Rebecca Hall, and Alexander Skarsgård's characters stand in front of Kong. It's important to note that Kong is moving his face ever so slightly, so he isn't dead here. Gia also isn't dead, which kind of gives me some form of relief because I don't really want her to die. It would have made for some good drama, but her character is just so interesting and I'd love to see the dynamic between her and Kong further explored. Gia approaches Kong and tells him to be careful, and it seems that Kong understands this and gets ready to fight again. So I have two theories as to what we may be seeing here. One, Godzilla ends up barely winning the final confrontation and he either spares Kong or does not get the chance to kill Kong because Mechagodzilla appears by bursting through a mountain, then proceeding to fight Godzilla brutally. Kong is only down for the count for a moment before recovering to fight Mechagodzilla. Now I think this theory is the most likely out of the two you'll hear since it does kind of line up with potential leaks and spoilers, but we can never know until we see the film. Number two, another theory I've been seeing is that when Kong slams the atomic charged axe onto Godzilla and it explodes, it severely wounds both of them, sending them flying. Now Kong and Godzilla both struggle to get up, but Godzilla is the one who basically manages to get up first and he fires his atomic breath at Kong's back like he did to the female Muto. This downs Kong, but Godzilla either spares Kong since he's won the battle, or he just gets interrupted by Mechagodzilla. Basically, Mechagodzilla comes in preventing the killing blow from being fired. Now this is also a leak-based theory, which could very well be likely. Another awesome shot in this trailer is a slightly extended one of Kong cocking his fists and snarling. Dude, I loved that shot as it is, his hair looking very much like the 1933 King Kong poster with that mohawk hair. But here, it's a bit of a longer shot where we see Kong to the side more. I really like that shot, it looks super badass. We get more Hong Kong action, and here we see Godzilla throwing Kong single-handedly into a building. I love how strong Godzilla looks here, and I love that Kong is taking what Godzilla is dishing out. Kong is the one punching above his own weight, so that's already a feat of strength upon both monsters as it is. Both just amazing feats of strength and durability all around. We get another shot of Kong with his axe lodged into a building. Now, it's possible Kong either throws the axe into the building to get some hand-to-hand combat in, or that Godzilla battling Kong results in the axe being thrown out of Kong's hands and into a building, either accidentally or by Godzilla himself out of anger. That would be badass to see. I mean, imagine Godzilla just out of nowhere grabbing the handle of the axe, just going, nope, just yeeting it across the city into the skyscraper. That would be so cool. In the last trailer, the axe is lodged into a building and Kong slams Godzilla, making him bleed. Here, it seems Kong tries to grab the axe and get it out of the building, and I think he's getting it out because of how he's kind of propelling his body outwards. You can kind of see that motion when he does move back. And Godzilla is in the background charging Kong as well, so Kong has a little time to get it out. Godzilla looks awesome over there as well, and I'm loving these shots capturing the scale. We see Mechagodzilla breaking out of the mountain, another MG shot, and then we see Kong's fist rising out of the water during the ocean battle. I think this is when Kong rises out of the water after being trapped under the carrier as we saw before. We then see Kong breaking free of his collar, which shows the chains aren't strong enough to keep him trapped and that he must have been willingly wearing them due to fear of endangering Gia's life. Kong breaks the chains, and then we get an awesome shot of Kong standing on the ship as Godzilla approaches him. Godzilla is actually rising up from the water, showing he's resurfacing and was just underneath completely moments ago. This could either be right after Godzilla dives underneath in the Japanese trailer to avoid those missiles, or it could very well be right after Kong breaks the collar off and after he's submerged and fights Godzilla underwater, as we saw earlier. Kong is rearing up, ready to unleash some kind of battle roar. Awesome as ever, we see some missiles being fired into the sky, and this could be when the military shoots at Godzilla in the Japanese trailer. We see Kong demonstrating some mad hop abilities here, leaping off an aircraft carrier onto another, and it's important to note Kong may possibly have a scorched back here, and he could have been tagged by the atomic breath. I'm noticing some black fur on his back right around this area, so that could be a potential atomic breath shot at Kong's back. And that could have been fired after Kong gets, claw swiped in the Japanese trailer, and he probably either lands on his back and notices the atomic breath, and he probably dodges it by just leaning to the side, and Godzilla doesn't move his head, and that'll be the last time Godzilla fires without moving his head. Or he just probably got tagged, maybe even underneath the water, or that could have been when Kong was jumping off the aircraft carrier before it got destroyed. Kong lands near a ton of jets, and he's most likely going to throw these at Godzilla as the Playmates Kong with fighter jet figure hints at. Kong lands, and he rocks what I assume is an aircraft carrier which could weigh anywhere near 100,000 tons. He rocks this thing like it's a mini boat. We end on a shot of Kong tossing Godzilla off the carrier. So that was the trailer we got. I think it's absolutely amazing that we are getting to see Kong as a rival alpha titan to Godzilla that is not only nearly as powerful, but also quite evenly matched and able to take whatever Godzilla dishes out. I love to see that Kong is actually proving everybody wrong already, which is something I have been saying for years. It isn't going to be extremely one-sided. Kong isn't going to be getting wiped throughout the film. Kong has displayed an equal amount of ferocity and power that Godzilla has, and he certainly is no pushover. So to recap what we know about Kong so far and why he's an equal to Godzilla, Kong took a full body claw swipe from Godzilla which did not cause any blood or fur to fly off, while with a monster like Muto Prime, the same claw swipe from a lighter, weaker, and smaller Godzilla made it bleed easily. Kong has slammed Godzilla hard enough to make him bleed with only his bare fists alone, yet when a monster like Muto Prime hits Godzilla with a right hook, no blood is drawn. Kong is taking shots of Godzilla's much more powerful atomic breath, since this is a Godzilla that is juiced up after multiple nuclear power plant attacks, and Kong is able to still fight until sunrise. We see Kong's shoulder is seared with blue flames and a smoke trail leading off of it, and Kong is still able to fight without a care in the world after a seemingly fresh hit. So Kong has a huge heat resistance. So Kong can take shots of the atomic breath. Kong shoves Godzilla off the aircraft carrier while under sedation, and this is the same Godzilla who stopped the 141,000 ton Ghidorah dead in his tracks when he was 90,000 tons and 99,000 tons. And Kong is tossing him off the carrier while possibly not at full strength. Kong has shown he can take the same kind of tail whips that had the 15,000 ton male Muto falling apart and that sent the 141,000 ton Ghidorah off screen, yet lo and behold, these moves do not end Kong right then and there. He probably takes more of these whips and fights until sunrise. Lastly, Kong showed he can leap great distances and even land onto the carrier with enough weight to send it into the air possibly, meaning Kong is very heavy and most likely around the 75,000 to 85,000 ton weight range. And we need to remember that Kong isn't an opponent Godzilla can 1v1 and win against as easily as he's done with the past. Think about it. The Mutos got dominated one-on-one and required a tag team effort. Ghidorah and Muto Prime both retreated their battles and required power-ups. Kong, on the other hand, along with Godzilla, has been stated to be one of the two most powerful forces in all of nature. It's even possible Godzilla attacks more nuclear power plants in preparation to gather enough power and strength to take down Kong, while Kong prepares for the battle by entering the Hollow Earth and finding the axe while learning about his history with the Godzilla species. Another cool little theory I read is that after the one-on-one where Godzilla and Kong go at it and Godzilla were to barely win, if Godzilla were to spare Kong, that would play heavily into Godzilla's intelligence and even sentience. Now Godzilla, knowing the history between the Kongs and Godzillas, would set aside these differences because it's possible he would acknowledge he needs Kong to keep balance on Skull Island and throughout the Hollow Earth, while Godzilla handles the surface level threats. That's just an interesting theory I read up on. Let me know what you guys think. And lastly, I'm sorry this video is coming out so late. My birthday was actually on the 16th, so I was celebrating, and as luck would have it, we got a new TV spot on that day. Now, nothing new other than a shot of Godzilla roaring in a ruined Hong Kong, and Kong roaring during the ocean battle. Now Kong beats his chest more here and he looks very badass. Godzilla in daytime looks beautiful and I cannot wait to see some more of him. Now this might be the film with the most Godzilla and Kong screen time, and we can actually see it this time, so sign me right up. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think down below about all the theories I presented in the video, and at the end of the day, I'm glad to see Kong is shown as an equal, rival alpha to Godzilla who can go toe-to-toe with him until sunrise. I'm super excited to see these two colossal beings clash in Godzilla vs Kong. Leave your thoughts down below, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. This is King Kong 9100 signing out. Until next time, bye bye.